Look, we've all been kids. We know what it's like. When mom and dad tell you to do something you don't want to do, you ask why. And if you get an answer you don't like, you just ask why again. I think deep down our hope is that we can annoy our parents into submission. But instead of that, we usually get the famous phrase, because I'm the parent and I say so. Now that I'm a parent, I've realized that without that phrase, kids will question forever. No, seriously. Forever. So it needs to be used sometimes. But the sad thing is that a similar phrase is sometimes used in the church. People come with questions. People wonder why God does the thing he does or the world works the way it does. People question the validity of scripture or the goodness of God. People question the church or its members. People have questions. Unfortunately, sometimes people consider this a lack of faith. They'll tell you not to question, or maybe you'll even get that famous phrase, because God is God and he said so. This leads us to today's topic. Is it okay to question God? Now, I do want to be clear, when I say question God, I don't mean to rebel against God. A lot of times we have this idea in our head that questioning somebody is kind of the same as rebelling against somebody, and that's not what I mean. I don't mean to talk back to God or to disrespect God. I don't mean that. But I do know there are a lot of people in the world today that have been told or genuinely think that you shouldn't ask questions about God or question why God does the things he does. Some say it's disrespectful or that it's a sign of mistrust. Others might just use the phrase, God is in control, and that to ask questions is to undermine that thought. Some would say to just trust and to stop asking questions. No, that is not the right path. A cursory look at scripture shows that all throughout the word, people are questioning God. Gideon asks for several confirmations of God's power. The Psalms are full of people asking why God seems to be silent. Thomas directly doubts the resurrection. Paul wonders why God won't heal him. Over and over again in scripture, we see people doubting and questioning God. I think the most poignant example of this comes not just from a Christ follower, but from Christ himself. Both Matthew and Mark's account of the crucifixion have a very important moment. When Jesus was on the cross, he cried out, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, or, my God, why have you forsaken me? Now, this is incredibly important for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is that this is a direct reference to Psalm 22, which is a prophecy of the crucifixion. Jesus is showing on the cross that his coming and his death had been prophesied. But more to our point, Jesus quotes a specific part of this psalm, the part where the writer is directly questioning God. Of all the texts and all the prophecies, Jesus chose to quote this one. Jesus quotes a moment where one of God's people says, "Why, God? Why are you doing this to me? Why?" This shows us that it's truly not an issue to question God for one very important reason. There are answers. No matter what the question is, no matter how deep the doubt, there is an answer to the question. It's important that we understand this. There is no question that Christians should be afraid of because there is no question that can overcome God. I mean, there are people in the world that question facts like if the earth is a sphere, but their questions can't flatten the earth. They can't change the truth. In the same way, there isn't a question that can change the fact that God is real and he is good. So ask away. If you've ever wondered why God did something in scripture, ask away. If you've ever wondered why God lets things happen in the world, ask away. If you've ever had curiosities or doubts or worries or stress or even just basic questions, feel free to ask away. There is no question that can change the fact that God is real and he is good.